Good morning, ASEAN. Freshen up your world, your thought, or your idea with us every weekday from 7:30 to 8 a.m. I'm Patriarch
And I'm also here with you, Nirasha Malisaklami, and today is Wednesday, the 2nd of October 2013.
So let's continue with the Typhoon WUTIP update as it left a trail of destruction with at least 5 people dead, dozens of fishermen missing in the South China Sea, and thousands of homes damaged in Vietnam. According to the authorities, roads were flooded, sea dikes damaged, and power lines torn up along Vietnam's central coast, including a top tourist attraction such as the World Heritage Site of Hoi An and the ancient capital of Hue. In Hoi An, an old trading port known for its traditional wooden architecture, streets around the river were underwater, although the main tourist districts were not affected. Flooding was also reported in Hue City, and authorities warned there could be more rain coming. High winds tore the roofs off around 95,000 houses, and tens of thousands of hectares of crops were destroyed after Typhoon WUTIP, packing winds of up to 103 kilometers or 64 miles an hour, hit the socialist country late Monday. At least 3 people were killed in central Vietnam, while China's Xinhua news agency said the bodies of 2 fishermen were found and 58 others still remain missing after 3 Chinese boats sank in rough seas. Well, Vietnamese Prime Minister Nguyen Thanh Dung put local authorities on high alert for flash floods and landslides in the aftermath of the typhoon as officials battled to clear up the worst of the damage. Well, 2 people were killed in Vietnam's central Quang Binh province after strong winds toppled a radio station antenna as the storm hit. Well, up to 300 millimeters or 12 inches of rain fell on Vietnam from Friday to Monday, and parts of the affected area were still without power after high winds tore up electricity pylons and disrupted supply. The army has been mobilized to help deal with the devastation, and according to Colonel Nguyen Van Phuc, head of Quang Binh Provincial Border Military Department, no official estimate of the potential cost of storm damage was available yet.
Now let's continue with the Typhoon WUTIP as it's rapidly heading for a downgrade to a low pressure reached yesterday. However, some Thais heave a sign of relief, but many remain on the lookout for another coming storm. Deputy Prime Minister Plot Prasop Suratsawadi, who chairs the Water and Flood Management Commissions or WFMC yesterday, confirmed that the WUTIP's threat has diminished. However, he added that WUTIP would still cause heavy rain in some provinces that are still at risk of possible natural disasters such as Nakhon Phanom, Mukdahan, Kalasin, Nong Khai, Bungkan, Sakon Nakhon, Udon Thani, Nong Bo Lampu, Loi, Khon Kaen, Chayaphum, Phitsanulok, and Phetchabun. Meanwhile, flood waters in Chayaphum have reached between 50 and 70 centimeters since the arrival of the WUTIP. All 3 main roads to the local villages had been under floodwaters several meters deep for 2 weeks, according to him. And according to the Disaster Prevention and Mitigations Department, floods have now ravaged 25 provinces. Flood-related deaths during the past few weeks have reached 23, and more than 2 million rai of farmlands have been flooded. One of the hardest hit provinces is Prachin Buri, which was visited by Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra on Sunday. Plot Prasop said that flooding in Prachin Buri should ease within 1 week and if no more rain arrive. However, he said that a monsoon trough was now hovering over the Andaman Sea and the south and the Gulf of Thailand, bringing more rain. And however, he remained confident that floods would not hit Bangkok.
Early short-term volatility in financial markets is expected after political gridlock in Washington triggered the first U.S. government shutdown. Economists expect only a limited impact on Thailand's economic fundamentals, which have been weakened by low export orders and delayed government spending. Speaking at a Kasetsart University seminar, economic guru Narongchaya Karaseni said he foresaw short-term volatility in the global financial market as a result of a shutdown in the U.S. administration, but the real economic sector should be spared from negative effects. Confirming this viewpoint was the 1.8% gain in the stock exchange of Thailand yesterday, following a decline over the previous 3 trading days. The baht strengthened by 0.3% to 31.21 per US dollar yesterday morning, after gaining 2.7% last month. Despite the U.S. administrative shutdown, the baht rose as Thailand posted a 40.5 billion baht current account surplus in August, the first monthly surplus since March. Norongchai said much of any shutdown impact will be felt in the Thai stock market, while speculative moves could affect the foreign exchange rate. Also a member of the Bank of Thailand's Monetary Policy Committee, he said the panel had already taken the U.S. situation into account. It's been noted that the fiscal stance of the U.S. and Europe will stall their recoveries. There is no reason to panic, as the impacts will be short-lived. The government should eventually find solutions. The economist said the overall economic picture had changed. However, due to the delay in the 350 billion baht water management project and the government's 2 trillion baht infrastructure investment, Thailand's gross domestic product could expand by 4% or lower this year, against the original projection of 5%. The U.S. government effectively shut down at midnight Washington time yesterday as Republicans and Democrats refused to give ground to reach a budget deal. The U.S. closure will see about 800,000 federal staff told to remain at home, leading to a closure of numerous agencies, the first shutdown since 1996, and one that President Barack Obama warned would damage a budding recovery in the world's biggest economy. Gandhi Kachyadi, an economist at DBS Bank, said he did not expect the shutdown to have a significant effect on the Thai economy this year. The bank is also maintaining its forecast for next year economic growth at 5.2%, still at 5%. He said he continued to view domestic demand as encouraging, and the outlook in 2014 will be brighter if the government could speed up its 2 trillion baht investment plus.
Now let's have a look at the situation in Myanmar as fresh communal violence erupted in western of Myanmar yesterday, leaving 1 person dead and homes set ablaze as President Thein Sein made a rare visit to the troubled region. Thein Sein, making his first trip to Rakhine State as president, was due to hold meetings with Buddhist and Rohingya Muslim communities during his 2-day visit, according to a presidential official. An official said that the main focus of the trip is the communal violence. Security was being strengthened in the TYPHOON area, which Thein Sein is due to visit on today. According to the authorities, the latest unrest follows an argument over a parking space near home last week, which triggered arsons, attacks against property owned by local Khaman Muslims. And a woman was killed during the clashes and houses were burned. Around 250 people have been killed and more than 140,000 of people left homeless in several outbreaks of violence around the country since June 2012, mostly in Rakhine State. And yesterday, Thein Sein spent the visit a different area of Rakhine populated mainly by stateless Rohingya Muslims. Clashes in Rakhine State in June and October last year left about 200 of people dead, and the violence has since spread to the other parts of Myanmar.
Also, the controversial debate is going on in the Malaysian parliament after the break. Malaysian Parliament is debating a controversial bill which critiques having to say that it will bring back preventive detention into the country. Malaysia's Home Minister Zahid Hamidi is determined to have the bill passed before the end of the week. To allay public concerns, he has promised to review certain contentious provisions and implement more safeguards to prevent abuse of power. Zahid had arrived to table the controversial bill for a second reading amid tensions brewing in the lower house. He is accused of trying to revive the old Internal Security Act by amending the 1959 Prevention of Crime Act to provide for detention without charge or trial. Opposition MPs were pulling out all stops to try and stall the proceedings by asking for more time to debate the bill. But the minister did not relent, insisting that preventive law is necessary to keep the country safe. Those who opposed the amendments, he said, were in fact protecting hardcore criminals. But Mr. Sahid did promise to review some of the contentious provisions raised by non-governmental organizations and the Bar Council, especially over the lack of judicial review. Mr. Sahid said, I did discuss with their representative, and we are going to articulate the suggestions passed to me. And then he said he needs to get the consent of the cabinet in order for the detailed amendments to be made. The added safeguards, including increasing number of board members from 3 to 5 people who can authorize 2-year detention, raising the remand period from 39 to 60 days with judicial supervision, and that the board must conduct a yearly review of all the detainees. Still, opposition MPs are not convinced. The powers, they complain, are just too broad and may be used to stifle political dissent. But with the ruling government having majority in parliament, the minister is bent on bulldozing the bill through by the end of the week.
And according to the CNRP party yesterday, Cambodia's opposition leader is touring on Southeast Asia to appeal for interventions of neighboring countries in a political stalemate triggered by the dispute elections. Sam Rainsy, whose opposition Cambodia National Rescue Party is boycotting parliament over the controversial July polls, left on Monday evening for countries including Singapore and the Philippines. According to party spokesman Yem Ponharit, said that his goal is to meet the leaders of some countries in order to seek their intervention in the election irregularities. The spokesman added that if necessary, he may continue to Europe, otherwise he will return to attend a rally on October 6. Cambodia's parliament last week approved a new 5-year term for Hun Sen following weeks of political turmoil. The CNRP denounced what it described as a constitutional coup after the legislature, with only ruling party MPs in attendance, extended Hun Sen's nearly 3 decades in power. The opposition, which is demanding an independent probe into alleged electoral fraud, has said it will hold another mass demonstration on October 23rd. Tens of thousands of opposition supporters joined 3 days of rallies in the capital last month that turned bloody. One protester was shot dead and several wounded as security forces clashes with a stone-throwing crowd.
Australian Prime Minister on Tuesday looked beyond to move beyond border issues that have been a key part of his first trip abroad in Indonesia. Of course, by promoting the importance of building stronger economic ties with neighboring Indonesia. More and more Australians now see Indonesia as a place to do business, to embark on joint ventures, as well as to have a holiday. Abbott said, and he also added that their challenge is to ensure that more and more Indonesians see Australia as a good place to invest and do business. Abbott hit on the importance of expanding the country's education, agriculture, investment, and trade relationships, but he did not bring out the thorny asylum seeker issue that was discussed a day earlier with his Indonesian counterpart, President Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono. He stressed the importance of boosting economic ties between the countries from the current 14.6 billion Australian dollars or 13.6 billion US dollars a year. He said a new Australian-Indonesia Study Center would be created at Monash University in Melbourne, and that more Australians would be encouraged to pursue higher education in Indonesia. The new government's approach is very, very straightforward, according to his statement, and he said that they will take a respectful, consultative, no surprises approach to relations with Indonesia. Abbott also added that in the morning of Tuesday, that the aim is to rebuild confidence so that both sides can respect each other and trust each other to keep commitments. He also concluded that he was accompanied on a 2-day trip by Foreign Minister Julie Bishop, Trade Minister Andrew Robb, and 20 senior business people.
And now let's have a look at our report by Kun Patriarch on Thailand celebrates its Supreme Patriarch's 100th birthday anniversary.
Of the 10 ASEAN countries, 4 are generally considered Buddhist countries, namely Thailand, Laos, Myanmar, and Cambodia. Among the 4, only 2 countries, Thailand and Cambodia, have the Supreme Patriarch or the head of the order of Buddhist monks. In Thailand, the position is formally appointed by the king. It was established in 1782 at the founding of the Chakri dynasty by King Rama I. The Supreme Patriarch has legal authority to oversee both of Thailand's Theravada sub-orders, the Mahanikaya and the Thammayut Nikaya, as well as a small minority of Mahayana Buddhists in the country. The incumbent Supreme Patriarch is Somdet Prayana Sangwon, who has served in this position since 1989, and this year he is turning 100 years old. On the occasion of his 100th birthday anniversary, which falls on October 3, 2013, the Supreme Patriarch's office has joined hands with many government units, such as the Religious Affairs Department, the Ministry of Culture, the National Office of Buddhism, and educational institutions in organizing activities to celebrate the anniversary. The main festivities are held at the Wat Bawon Niwet Vihan Temple during the 1st to the 7th October 2013. The event is held to publicize the Supreme Patriarch's biography, lifetime works, and his contributions to Buddhism. As His Holiness is now treated at Chulalongkorn Hospital in Bangkok due to his health problems, the temple allows people who come to visit the event to sign name for the Supreme Patriarchs. And today at Bawon Niwet Vihan Temple, people are now queuing to sign their name for the Supreme Patriarch or the head of the order of Buddhist monks in Thailand. To celebrate his 100th birthday anniversary this year, 84,000 amulets have been prepared to give to everyone to keep for good luck and fortune, and also for the souvenir of this year's celebrations. Besides this signing activity, programs include, among others, an exhibition on life and work of His Holiness and an international Buddhist meeting. During the past 86 years in the monkhood, His Holiness has contributed greatly to the expansion of Buddhism both in and out of the country, and has made Thailand the center of world Buddhism. The Supreme Patriarch's 100th anniversary on the 3rd of October 2013 is considered an important occasion in the world's history, as Thailand is one of the only two countries which still have a Supreme Patriarch. Sathapat Pathong reports.
That's it for today's edition of Good Morning ASEAN. We'll see you again, same time, same place, same channel.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Nirasha Malay Sakami.
อนันต์พัฒน์สุรังเดชาพุทธรังสีสวัสดี
สวัสดี
ค่ะ
ค่ะ